Hello, beautiful family. As I stand here now with the birds singing in the backdrop, I'm very grateful. And I ponder what it took to get to this point. On the way here, I was gazing up into the limitless blue sky, observing the cars as they drive by, and really enjoying the scenery of the trees all around me, and being grateful for them, that sense of reverence, because they're supplying this organism with oxygen. And in turn, I'm supplying them with carbon dioxide. It's reciprocal, it's mutual, it's beautiful, it's mutually beneficial. That's how, you know, the world can be optimal. Everybody can operate and function in harmony optimally if we simply allow that divine power that's within us to express effortlessly without trying to control it, without forming a mental identity that self image that assumes it's separate from it. And also on the way here, I was listening acutely to the power of the river as it meanders and flows wherever it goes. Who knows? I don't know. Where is this one going? Who knows? All I know is I'm here right now, and I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be speaking with you. So I'm hoping you stay tuned because I'm not exactly sure what's going to express or manifest, but I know that's going to be a good one because I feel it, because I'm in tune with it, and I'm not separate from it, and neither are you. So I hope that vibe transmits to you as I speak. Now, I was thinking on the way here what I want to talk about. And I'm kind of, somebody called me a monk the other day. So I was like, yeah, I don't identify with being a monk. I don't identify with that label. I guess you could consider me a monk because, I'm kind of living that lifestyle, right? So, all right, let's assume that I'm a monk. And I was thinking on the way here, what if we were to take a certain machine and hook it up to my brain, certain diodes, frequencies. They would calibrate the frequency that I'm operating at. Hook them up to my brain, or any monk, or anybody who's living a pure lifestyle in harmony with Mother Nature. And then you sit next to them, a scientist. You have a monk and a scientist. Now, the monk's brain, the frequency of their brain is going to register in peace, harmony, oneness, and unity consciousness, right? No separation. Whereas a scientist, who knows? It may be uh, like a segregated piece of calculus, right? Because we really want to understand that, we can accumulate as much information in the world as we can. But still, the source within us from which all information arises is infinite, is limitless, it's all knowing. And thus, somebody like the scientist who tries to accumulate as much as they can and then regurgitate that and create from that is creating from ignorance, because you can only accumulate so much. You could read all the libraries in the whole wide world, and still, you look up in the sky and think, wow, the limitless sky. What's beyond this? And the truth is, we can access that. We can harmonically attune to that. We can witness that for ourselves, this source intelligence, by whatever name it may be addressed. We can, in a sense, become that by living a pure lifestyle, by living in harmony with nature, by surrendering to that rather than trying to go against that and trying to create from our own will, from our own personal will, from our mental identity with all of its personal desires and will and wants and by operating from a space of oneness and harmony with this vast, epic, unified field of consciousness, we can thus allow it to express through us and manifest that which is its will, and not imagine ourselves to be a separate will. Now, this is important because we all want to experience this. We all want to witness this. That sense of that everything is perfect as it is and complete where it is right now on the holy ground that we stand upon. Everything around us needs no correction. It need not be changed. In fact, change is an illusion because everything is continuously manifesting, spontaneously, arising automatically in perfect harmony. And there's no change because it's all happening right now. And when, like the monk, when the cells in our body are lit up to the point where we are living with a sense of clarity and vitality and openness and abundance, we have that unity consciousness. We don't have it because we are it. We've evolved past having and doing, havingness and doingness, because we're simply beingness. Kind of finished with the world, kind of just like everything's perfect as it is. I'm content just being. I don't need to accumulate this and go after that and pursue that and accumulate this because I'm it. And so is everything else. And I feel this experientially. And so do you. And we all want to feel this. And we can by living a purified lifestyle. Now, I'm not, like I said, I don't identify with being a monk. I don't identify with being a Puritan. I don't identify with any religion, creed, or nationality, or personal identity, or personal memory, or personal history, or any of that, because I've personally transcended the illusion of a personal identity. And it wasn't necessarily easy. There was a lot of inner work involved, a lot of surrendering involved, a lot of emotions I had to sort through, and a lot of purification of mind that I had to undergo in order to get to the point where I am now. And I'm definitely not claiming to be all knowing, and definitely not claiming to be a perfectly evolved human being, because there's always room for growth for each of us, no matter where we're at on the journey. And the truth is, we're right where we need to be. We're whole and complete right now. Divinity, as it's expressing as us, knows our every single need. We need not try to control it. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they asked me, "How are you surviving?" Because I don't have a job. And, my response to them was, I don't really think about it. Like on the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, take no thought for tomorrow. Be here now. And some people might not see that as practical, but in today's world where faith and truth and trust has kind of been raped and ravaged, it's kind of hard to imagine that, some people still have faith. But I come on here because I do have faith. And I told that person, I said, I'm not entirely sure. I don't really think about it. I live day by day, and I have faith that nature, the divine mother, our mother, father, creator, whatever label you want to give it, the power that's in back of nature, in us, as we're expressed as an extension of nature, I have faith that that's going to manifest and do its will and provide my needs effectively without trying to control it irrationally. And although this may seem irrational, it really is not, because it's worked out for me thus far. And it's kind of like a childlike trust, right? And no matter who you are, you have faith. You have faith in something. You have faith when you get in your car that it's going to start. You have faith that it's going to get you from point A to point B. You have faith that you're gonna sleep tonight when you go to bed. We have faith in so many different things, but we may not look at that way because we get hung up and caught up in a personal image and a personal identity. And the thing about thoughts is thoughts are great. They can manifest our reality. They allow us to create. They allow that power within us to create and manifest through us as channels, as an extension of that power. Now, it's not our personal power. It's it's an impersonal power that we attune to, that we align to. And we have faith in so many different things. Why not have faith in that which is animating us in this moment? Is animating the very cells in our body on a in our inner cosmos and in the macrocosmos, on a microscopic level and on a macroscopic level, if that's even a word. We're making up words. See, we can have fun with it. We don't have to be so serious. We can simply enjoy and be the loving witness to this life all around us without trying to control it. I was writing about that. It's people trying to control their animals, yelling at them, "Get in here!" and I just laugh now because it's like, of course I don't react either inwardly or outwardly. I just smile and laugh it off because it's like, man, this person's trying to force that which is an extension of themselves, especially their animal. Obviously, they have a close connection with them. Uh, Friend comes to mind, somebody I used to hike a lot with, and everybody always was like, "Wow, your dog behaves so well." And he's like, "Yeah, it's because the golden rule: treat other people and animals and whatever how you want to be treated." He's very kind to his dog, and thus his dog listens to him very well. He doesn't really even have to speak. He can snap his fingers. The dog comes right to his side. He is the dog's leash. The dog doesn't need a leash. Goes on a hike, and guess what? The dog is free. And we can all be free. Freedom is a potential for all of us. And how do we be free? By living a life of purity and staying true to spiritual integrity. Living a life that is spiritually integrous. That's all God asks of us, right? To set our compass in a direction that is spiritually integrous, of integrity. Think of a ship at the sea. How even just the minutest shift in degree will determine where that ship ends up, whether it reaches the other shore, or whether it gets lost at sea, or whoever the hell knows, wherever it goes. Just that slightest shift in degree over time, exponentially, that trend can make all the difference in having faith. All I know is where I'm today. That's just facts. I can only work with what's in my hands now. So I'm not going to try to control my destiny. I'm not going to try to manifest my destiny. I'm simply going to be what I am today and live in harmony and allow that power to express through me. And you can too. When I say I'm not talking as if I'm separate from you. Because anything I can do, you can do. As I express this now, I hope it resonates. I hope this abundance consciousness transfers. Because although I might not be materially rich, I might be. Who knows? I'm definitely not going to broadcast it for the world. Either way. But the point is, abundance consciousness isn't necessarily material riches. It's a sense of wholeness, a sense of aliveness, a sense of oneness and connection and peace more than anything else. Now, I mention this because also on the way here, I was thinking about children and next generation, thinking beyond myself. And I don't say that to pat myself on the back, but I say that to inspire anybody else who may be following this channel and maybe like, wow, I got a couple texts the other day of people, not saying directly, but indirectly expressing interest in that which I'm expressing. And, that's a good feeling. I don't do it for that reason. I don't do it for the reactions or for the likes or for the comments or for the attention or any of the superficial reasons why, somebody who clings to a separate self and a personal identity might be on here, you know, thinking they're the creator, as if they were a separate creator, as if they weren't an extension of the one creator that we all are, fundamentally individual expressions of that same infinite source intelligence, the divine mind, mind with a capital M, self with a capital S, as opposed to the smaller separate self. The self with a big S is the connected self. And on the way here, I was thinking about children and how I used to get very upset, and I take it personally and take it to heart, because that sense of openness, right? The heart's open. Thus, you're a lot more sensitive when the heart chakra is fully alive and active. And when you've gone through and sorted out those lower emotions and allowed that kundalini life force energy or sexual energy to rise and reach the heart space and accumulate there in all its abundance and all of its bliss and all of its connectedness. Now, I was really thinking about how when I used to live with my grandma, she would put the babies in front of the TV, close to the TV, and they're just staring at it like this. And I'm thinking, man, I would move them and she would move them back, and I would try to calmly tell her, like, listen, the baby doesn't know the difference. The baby is going to be happy and content off to the side, not directly in front of the TV. The baby doesn't need to watch TV. The baby doesn't need to be programmed like that, because, you know, if we think about it, everything, obviously, energy, frequency, vibration, but we don't just want to assume that conceptually and see it superficially. We want to understand it deeply. And we can by understanding that by sitting in front of a TV, somebody who's kind of slouched in front of a TV most of their lives. And, I'm not picking on anybody because I used to watch a lot of TV too. But the truth is, a hard pill to swallow is a lot of us aren't here for truth. We're here for entertainment. And I know I was at one point. But now that I'm past that, it's easy to see clearly and to see that, it, it's not good. It's not, maybe good implies bad, right? We don't want to think in terms of duality, but it's not beneficial for embodying our vitality and that sense of clarity to sit in front of the TV and allow that to program us with its low vibrational frequency, because especially babies, they're so impressionable, and little children, they're so easily programmable. They're naive and they're innocent. They're going to believe whatever they're brought up in. So we want to be conscious as parents. I'm not a parent, but anybody who's watching this who has kids, don't subject your kids to technology at such a young age. They don't need it. They'd be much better off reading a book. They'd be much better off standing barefoot out in nature, going out and playing in the dirt, playing with their neighbors, whatever it is. That sense of social connection, that sense of harmony with the world around us, instead of kind of attention being like a wormhole into that goes nowhere. Attention being sucked out of them, because where your attention goes, energy flows, right? So what is that doing for them? Nothing. It's not doing anything for us. And we don't want to get in the rabbit hole of just watching endless YouTube videos either. Of course, this vibe in this channel is high vibrational. So, and there's plenty of other channels that are too. And ones that I particularly love to watch and listen to, as people, expressing their creative expression, and the divine hand is expressing through them effortlessly. And you see it, it's apparent. And thus, by choosing what we watch and what we witness, you can't really choose what you witness because we're always a witness, right? But I just wanted to rhyme, honestly. But, you know, by choosing and discerning that which we consume, whether it be information or food or whatever it may be, we can operate from a place of positivity and harmony. and spiritual integrity, and thus we'll be able to be free. We all want to feel free. We don't just want to think we're free intellectually. We want to feel it. We want to sense it. We want to sense that connection with the world around us. And we can. There's nothing stopping us. Everything right now in this world for our happiness is already here. You need not try to search it. You need not try to pursue it. You can do your daily work in a way that's very happy, in a happy mood. You need not struggle and strain and try to force. I certainly did that at one point. There's a lot of inner resistance. Again, those inner emotions. That's what resistance is. And once those are transcended, you feel that vitality. And you feel that in the world around you, too. Because it's not separate from you. That's the biggest illusion in the world going, right? Sense of separateness that some of us seem to suffer from. That's why we want to open our third eye chakra, right? Our third eye, our pineal gland. And looping back to the TV, what does that do to our pineal gland? Bill Hicks said, famous comedian, watching TV is like taking black spray paint to your third eye. I wonder why. Well, first of all, we want to understand that our consciousness, the consciousness that we all share, is the same essential I amness, is the bedrock of creativity. And we want the passcode to that. We want the password. Say the mind's a technology. What use is a computer without the password? How will we be able to use the mind if we don't unlock the hidden gifts that are latent and inherent within us? By allowing that energy to rise within us, up the spine. The human being is the highest form of evolution on this planet. We've been blessed with a vertical spine, and thus we can allow the sexual energy to rise. That Shakti, that divine energy, that Kundalini, whatever label you want to give it, universal primordial energy. It's not some new age hocus pocus shenanigans. It's the real deal. Look up the sacred secretion, the Christ within, the internal secretion. This is some of the most powerful information that I've personally come across. And it's only by grace that this has been attracted to me and appeared in front of me as synchronicity. And it's led me to pursue that instead of the rabbit hole of, the scientist, of trying to control. And I'm not picking on scientists. I'm not saying every scientist, of course, we don't want to make broad generalizations. But I'm just using that as an example. Because a lot of us may be overly intellectual. And I know I was at one point too. I'd had kind of like an insatiable appetite to just incessantly consume information as well as food. I used to eat a lot of food. Today I'm in a fasted state. I want to bring some awareness to that too, because that allows the light to express more effortlessly. Because I'm at a higher frequency. As opposed to, some videos that, if I just ate, I'm more grounded and it's kind of, it's not as a higher, not as high frequency, right? So, TV, man, that's a big one. Just imagine if all the children in the world had teachers that instead of force feeding them information out of a textbook that is intentionally orchestrated, information that's, common and kind of irrelevant, not a lot of it, I'm not saying all of it, but a lot of it's irrelevant. It just, you know, information that you kind of have to sort through. It's like those lower emotions, right? When you get to a certain point, and you come again as a child, you start off down here, right? And you go through school, grade school, you graduate college, you get your mat or whatever it is, and you say you make it in the world, and we're all expressing the divine will differently on our personal journey now. It's always now. And then at some point, we gotta come full circle or full triangle and become again as a child. Like it says in the Bible, kingdom of heaven, become again like a child. It's that simple. But sometimes it's not so simple. It can be, but it may not be. It depends. It always depends. But say we put that child in front of a teacher who genuinely has their best interest in mind. They're operating from a heart space, and they tell the child, listen, I'm here because I want to teach you how to elevate your frequency, how to embody a higher energy. Now, the outcome of that child is going to be a lot different than a teacher who is kind of half-heartedly just, you know, teaching from textbook and living paycheck to paycheck. It really makes a difference. And we can get into the whole nature versus nurture argument. But if you want that child to attract wonderful thoughts and realize beautiful manifestations that occur through them, then we want to teach them about self-awareness more than anything else. That can be our only savior. Of course, there are actually angels, the photons coming in from the light above, the sun. The angels are all around us. Of course, we have guides. Of course, there's endless blessings. But ultimately, we really want to understand that our true savior, self-awareness, is going within. Seeing that all things and actions appearing and seeming to happen outside of us are actually happening through us as an extension of us, in connection with us, not separate from us. I wore this specifically today for a reason. So I knew I'd be talking about the pineal gland in the third eye and how we should all decalcify the pineal gland. And, fluoride, that's commonly in conventional toothpaste, is not only, I'm going to focus on positivity, but at the same time, it's important to convey truth because, ignorance doesn't succumb to attack if we're trying to fight fire with fire, right? But rather, it when somebody is gently and calmly embodying truth, they become the truth, then you need not fight fire with fire. It's like, because they're the non-resistant flow of cool water, right? They're that river that I mentioned in the beginning, meandering and flowing without needing controlling. It's perfectly controlled. Everything is controlled naturally. We don't need to try to control it as a separate identity. The senses right now are perfectly controlled. I need not try to control the sounds around me when I'm in meditation because meditation is all inclusive. It's a simple allowing. It's a simple being. It's a simple cherishing the source of existence that's within us. That same source intelligence which is within all of us, excluding none. It's stillness, it's silence, but at the same time, it could be rowdiness. At least in the world around us, on the surface, it could appear as rowdiness, but those who live in a way that's spiritually integrous realize that everything is consciousness. And trying to change the world, again, change is an illusion, because it's all happening now. Think about that one. You can only change something if you interpret it sequentially, as if there's this event and that event and something in the past and something in the future. But if your reality is all happening now, if the cells in your body are lit up by the vitality of that life force essence within us, and you're always present in that state of stillness, then you realize that there is no change. And trying to change anything other than your own consciousness, other than the cause within, is not only operating from ignorance, but it's a futile readjustment of surfaces. It's not getting to the core of the issue. It's not doing the inner work, allowing the energy to rise within us. And I speak on this a lot because I know what it's done for me. And I see it truthfully. I see it for what it is. And I see it in others' story as well, and what it's done for them. And, if one person sees this and it makes a difference, even if I don't know about it, then, I'm living my purpose. I want to reiterate something I've mentioned throughout the videos, that we all have purpose. We all have a purpose. We're here for a reason. There's a very reason for our being. And sometimes that reason is simply sitting and being. And other times it's allowing, surrendering to life, which is not different from the label God. God and life are one and the same. God and nature are one and the same. Us and nature are one and the same. And simply surrendering the notion of separate self allows us to really feel that connection. And I'm kind of desperate. I'm not going to lie. I want everybody to feel it. Kind of sorting through a lot of personal desires, right? Sexual desire, check. That's no more sexual desire, right? But you start checking off desires, and naturally those desires go in a different direction. And what I want for myself, I want for everybody else. And basically, I want peace, harmony, and bliss. And naturally, as I express, I hope that manifests and resonates with everything else. It's a beautiful blessing that we're all alive now. Anyways, I think that's it for today. Take care, guys. God bless. Stay true to yourself. Go within. Listen to your inner voice. Don't let the world distract you or tell you or try to control you. But that means you don't try to control it either, right? Let's see it as separate. See you in the next one.